Cheryl Warrington. It's a mowing customer. Scope of work's going to be just like an overgrowth cutback and cleanup in the backyard. So first off, she said she thinks this is poison ivy. I've never seen poison ivy like that dark of a green, but she might be right. It is a 3-leaf and it's a little bit shiny, so could be. So what I'll do, or somebody will do in advance, maybe somebody won't mow and can even do this, kind of spray this area in advance before the crew. The one thing I'll say for whoever's going to spray it, if you're going to watch this video when you're mowing or whatever, she does have a dog, so bring a tarp with you. Put a tarp down here, so in case when you spray some of the droppings, kind of, you spray it and they're wet and they're dripping, it'll drip on the tarp and not into her yard. It's also like a killer of everything, so it would kill her grass. So definitely put the tarp down for the pet and for killing the grass. You don't got to go bonkers with the spray, because I'll explain it a little more, but when we clear out this fence line, it's like her white vinyl, and then the neighbors is maybe 8 inches gap, and then they have like a wire fence. So she doesn't want to like cut all the stuff that's over there. We're basically just going to cut the fence line up to the other fence, so a little bit of a gap in between the two fences. We're not going to go crazy cutting all this other stuff. This is actually this neighbor right here in this yard, and then that neighbor's like where that shed is. So again, we're just going to be cutting. So when you spray, just kind of spray some of this stuff here. Don't go nuts. You don't got to go nuts like spraying all back here and stuff. If you want to overspray it just a little bit, but don't go bonkers like spraying this whole area, because that's the neighbor. We don't want to mess with all that. Yeah, so spray it. We'll give it a week, whatever. It should dry out pretty good. It's not a ton of an area, so but just be cautious when you come out, cover up, whatever. Wear them wrist things and such. And just be mindful when you're cutting it and you put it in a tarp. Try not to minimize your hands touching it, even with the gloves. I'm saying minimize that. Anyway, and then move into the rest of it. Just kind of do a fence cleanup. 6-foot ladder will be fine. Again, so like here's the fence. Here's the the metal fence. It's like a 4-inch gap here, and then it kind of gets wider as it goes down, it looks like. But again, we're just looking to, you don't got to cut all the stuff off at the shed here. Ideally, we don't want to have to bother the neighbor behind her and have to go back there to grab anything. So try to cut stuff and have it fall into the yard, or grab it and have it fall into the yard. Because again, we're not cutting, like I told her, all of this stuff will still be here. We're just going to cut out kind of her portion. All this stuff hanging over the fence, so on and so forth. Try to be careful when you're smacking it too. Like if you use a string trimmer, whatever you use, just be careful of the fence, not to completely blast it. It might be better if you can like hand snip this stuff, honestly, because if you string trim it might make a big green hot mess all over the fence, and then like it's going to be disgusting. And she keeps it pretty clean everywhere. So anyway, so yeah, just like cut it. Again, we're just looking to cut it to the height of that fence, kind of level it down to the same height as this fence. So I told her we're not going to go in there and dig it all out. She knows that. We're just like cutting, kind of trimming this top stuff. Shouldn't be too crazy of a job, really. This is the area where you have the most amount of brush, but it's not insane because you're not cutting all that stuff. So yeah, so cut it all down, level it down. Some stuff as you cut will fall in between the fences. That's all right. Try to catch it if you can. I don't see anything else that looks like poison ivy anywhere else. I did tell her if she wants to touch base with the customer, and we can come out and give them a price to do their side as well at the same time and bill them both separately. So she said she might, and she'll let us know, but for now, that's all we're doing here.